On day 33, we'll be looking at parts of the northwestern New York state. We'll be filling in this part of our trip. We will leave Burstone Inn and head to Rome, where we'll see Fort Stanwix National Monument. Then we'll go to Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse and end up in Rochester for the night. We'll be parking in a parking garage and walking over to see Fort Stanwix across the street. This fort was built here in 1758 by the British to control the Oneida Carrying Place, a route between river systems here. It was abandoned 3 years later in 1761 by the British, and then in 1776 the Americans came and took it and used it as a fort during the Revolutionary War. This was part of a highly significant battle, for it was defended against the British and Iroquois August 2nd through 23rd, 1777. As a part of a campaign, the British tried to split New York and were defeated. This allowed the French to come in on the side of the Americans because the Americans finally won a battle. This is what it would have looked like as the Americans fired at the British over the fort wall. Now let's go inside and look. All around the outside of these sticks that stick out from the fort and are pointed, this is to keep you from climbing the wall. Now we're going to go in the main gate, which is at the bottom. This is the main outer gate, and now we come inside to the moat area and the inner gate. We cross over the moat with this bridge and drawbridge, and it's a dry moat that they have inside. The drawbridge can be pulled up to close the gate, and you can see here the rollers that would have been used to counterweight it. Now let's look around the inside some. This is where the artisans live. They're the ones that help build the fort and maintain the fort. Woodworkers, metal workers, and other people like that. These are the casemate barracks where people would have lived. Notice the top, how it's 12 by 12 boards, about 10 feet long. And here we are up on top. This is the decking you were looking at below there. And here's where they would have fired their weapons and protected. And over here's one of those star points that have the cannon mounts for protecting the fort also. And then over here is another casemate barracks with the barracks underneath it. They would have been the warmer barracks. Here we are in the brig. Back in the back they would have been chained up until they were tried. And this is the parade yard on the inside. Notice the whipping post and the cannon here facing the gate in case needed to fire through it. The officers had more room than the enlisted men, only 2 men to a room. And of course the Commandant had the most luxurious of the accommodations. And these are the inside barracks. They were actually colder than the casemate barracks because they had so much insulation around them. These were really, really bitterly cold in the winter nights, and the only place they were allowed to have fires going at night. The sutler or trading post was the link between the outside world and the fort. He would often trade with the Indians nearby for pelts and things like that, and soldiers could buy a few things here, but not really a lot. They didn't have a lot of money. And now it's time to head back out that front gate again and walk around the fort and look at it some more from ground level. This is how it would have looked if you were attacking it. And now we will be coming to the water gate. This gate was used to go out and get water from the stream nearby. That stream was stopped up by the British and they had to dig wells inside. And be careful where you go to the bathroom. And now it's time to head to our next destination, the Rosamond Zoo. We've been paying tolls a number of times throughout this trip. It takes a picture of your license tag and then sends you a bill later. Some of these bills we got up to 3 months after we got charged. They want to make sure and get you as many times as they can. Here we are paying another toll. Not very big.
Take the next left, then turn right.
And now we arrive at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse, New York. It's a fairly small zoo and it'll take us maybe 3 hours to go through it. We'll do the buildings first on the right and then go counterclockwise around. Let's look at the animals. And of course, Deborah had to harass something, so here she is feeding the ducks and geese. These are mainly mallards.
This brown snake, about 1.5 feet long, was just crawling across the pathway.
This is an immature Humboldt penguin, just wanting to look out and see what's going on in the world. And of course, Deborah had to harass it. This brings us to the close of our time exploring the zoo, and now it's time to head to Rochester for the night.
Take the next left onto South Wilbur Avenue.
And then we arrive in Rochester at the Comfort Suites. And this brings us to the end of day 33.